Hello, welcome to the Love, Listen, Talk, Repeat podcast, where myself, Wendy Capewell, and invited guests on occasions talk about subjects relating to ourselves and our relationships. So let's get on with this week's show. Hi, today I'm going to be talking about caring in a relationship. I'm going to start by saying it's more than just words. Yeah, you could say, well, of course I care about my partner, of course I care about others, but how do you care for them? Caring is about actions, showing the other person that you care about them and about your relationship with them. It's about paying attention to their needs and wants, noticing when they get down, talking frequently together. And I know there are friendships that endure those big gaps of time, and I have them myself where I haven't seen someone for years, and then we start talking again and connecting again, and it's like we've never been apart. But I'm talking in this situation more about those real deep relationships that we have. It's about trusting with secrets or deep thoughts, thinking about them when they're not around, keeping your promises and planning events with them. And I want to stress here, it's not about the grand gestures or waiting till you're going to go on holiday. I get so many people saying, oh, well, we're going to work on our relationship when we're away, when we're on holiday, or at Christmas, when we've got time. And I think, well, when you first met that person, you didn't make those excuses then. You worked at that relationship. You actually showed that other person that you cared about them. You didn't say, oh, well, yeah, of course I care about you, but I know we're dating, but let's wait till the weekend and then I'll show you that I care about you. You just couldn't not care about them. So I want you to think about is not taking them away on their birthdays, spending time on them, giving them lavish gifts or lashing out on expensive gestures. The smallest gesture can have the greatest impact. Yeah, the smallest gesture can have the greatest impact. So it's something, I can't tell you what your gesture might be for the other person because I don't know what your relationship is or what it's like. But it's the kind of thing that sort of making a cup of tea without being asked. Spontaneous hug. Paying a compliment. Texting someone and asking them how they are. That allows them to feel that they're in your thoughts. But I would also warn about the constant texts of some people who will text each other 15, 20 times a day. That is a bit of overkill. I'm just talking about that. Just a text to say, yeah, thinking of you. How's your day going? It can also be about listening to them when they need to offload and not trying to solve the problem for them unless they ask it, but just being that listening ear and being there for them. I would say generally we don't want to be fixed, but we just want to be able to say that we've had a miserable day or something has gone wrong or we're feeling unhappy. Don't try and fix them with what you think they want. I think it's more important to find out what they want. What is it you want from this? How can I help you? What do you need from me? And it might be, I just need you to listen. And that is enough. I think there are other times you can, the importance of saying thank you. All right, we always hear that story of, one of the partners makes dinner and ask for a thank you, and maybe their partner turns around and says, well, I do it 365 days of the year and I never get a thank you. Yeah, okay. So make a point of not overkill again, because that can sound really yucky, but just saying thank you now and again. Thank you for that. I really enjoyed that meal. Thank you for doing the washing up. Thank you for taking the bin out. Whatever that might be, it's sometimes just showing your appreciation is a way of caring. And I want to emphasize that all these examples take very little effort. But they take thought. And that shows that you care. When you show you care for someone, you make the effort to do things they really like and not necessarily the things you think they like. And I think this is a really important part of a relationship. I don't know if any of you have heard of the 5 love languages. If you haven't heard of them, then you can Google it. There is a book that you can buy. And I also talk about it in more depth in episode 44. So you can listen to that version of the my podcast there to learn a bit more. But I would just go over them, just the headings really. They are acts of service, physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, and receiving gifts. So first of all, think about what your love language is. What's important for you? What does it feel like? What do you find if somebody does something for you? What is it that speaks your love language? Because if you get crossed over, if you don't understand each other's love languages, you can get it so wrong. And by understanding what your love languages are and your partner's, it can make a huge difference to your relationship. And you're more likely to hit the spot when you think about those caring gestures to show your partner. For example, if receiving gifts isn't one of my real love languages, for me, quality time is important, or physical touch. If someone gives me a hug, I really love that. That makes me feel that I'm cared for and I'm important and I mean something to the other person. If they're spending time with me, then I really feel, loved and cared for. So I think if we give the love language that our partner accepts as one of theirs, then you're going to hit that spot. But if you don't, if, for example, I wanted to give a friend or a loved one a hug and it left them cold and their love language was receiving gifts, you can see how you could get a real mismatch, and people then feel that they're not loved and cared for. I remember one person telling me, she asked her partner, well, what do you do for me? And how do you show you love me? And he said, I do it by putting a roof over her head, by going out to work, by taking care of the family, by cooking meals and doing jobs around the house. And she had not recognised that. She just took it for granted. She didn't see that as a way of him showing her love. So by acknowledging that, she then realised that her love language and his love language were very different. But he was showing her his love. And there are times, when caring is about allowing the other person some space when they need it. I think we all need time on our own, or even with friends, other friends. It doesn't mean that, that your loved one doesn't want to be with you, or your friend doesn't. But I think we don't all get our needs met by one person. And so it's unreasonable to expect one person to provide all of our needs, and it's also unreasonable to expect that you don't need your needs met in other areas of your life by other people. So it might be that you have a hobby or a pastime that you don't share with your partner, but you enjoy sharing with others. And I think allowing that and acknowledging that, it doesn't mean that your partner doesn't love you just because you don't have the same interests. But I think that if the person who wants to do the running, for example, if they come back feeling that their needs have been met, is more likely to bring a happier relationship and more contented together. So I think there's something very much about allowing that time and allowing your partner to get their needs met in other areas and accepting that. And that is also a very caring gesture. So take some time out and think about how you show your care and your love, and that you show your partner. How do you show that you care for them? How do you show other people in your life that you really care about them? And are people missing one of your 5 love languages? Check it out and see. It's really quite an interesting exercise. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode, and thank you for listening. If you want to learn more, you can find out more details and information in the show notes. Alternatively, you can go to my website, www.wendicapewell.co.uk. Bye for now.